Hello, Glenn here with the Southern Delta Church of Wicca ATC in Lake City, Arkansas. It's a beautiful June 15th. Really hot though, about 90 degrees. We've been out here working in the garden. If you'll go ahead and look over that way. We got everything weed eated. We got a lot of harvesting to do, but first, before we do that, I've got some composting to work on. So, we have been putting all of the produce that's been donated to us and that we've grown in here that the community didn't take, and it might have went bad and all that, and we put it in here. And so we went ahead and got some cedar mulch to go ahead and start everything, because you got to have that mix of greens and browns to make the whole thing work right. Well, today it just so happens that one of our church members was kind enough to donate to us a bunch of hay and rabbit poop from their rabbit pen. And I'm going to be putting that on and turning everything over. Best thing to do this with is a pitchfork. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It has 10 prongs on it. I like this one a lot better than one with, like, say 6 or 8 of them. We'll get to that in a minute. So I happen to have a tortoise. And somebody happened to give me some tortoise food from Missouri. Not the state, that's the name of the company. However, this type of food is the wrong kind for my tortoise. So I thought, you know, it's dry food, and dry food can go on compost. So we're going to go ahead and cut this bag open and pour it on here. Now, you don't want meat. Meat is not good for composting unless you're doing the composting for flowers only. But because we're using our compost for vegetables that's going to go out to the community, we want our vegetables safe from the compost that we feed it. So this stuff looks an awful lot like dog food, but it's not. This is a different type of food. You know, tortoises, they don't eat the same thing as dogs and cats. They have to have a different type of diet. That's what's in here. But it's going to make great composting. Go ahead and pour all that on there. Now we have a gate on the front of our community garden and fence all the way around, and that will that'll keep all the dogs out, but as we know, there ain't no keeping the cats out. Now, mixed in with that rabbit poop was a lot of hay and pumice, because it had basically been sitting on its own little compost pile for some time, and we're very thankful for those that gave us the rabbit poop and the hay for this, because that makes good brown and good fertilizer to go in here. So if you go ahead and come over here, see what we got over here. There is a lot of vegetables underneath this pile, and because I put the dry food on there, that's not technically a brown. That's, even though it is brown, it's not a brown. That's technically a green. Now the hay and the poop, I guess you could consider that a type of brown that's going to go in there. But right now, the most important thing we can do is get this pile turned over. What we're looking for is to get that cedar mulch to stay on top more so than anything else. Now the thing about this compost pile is relative to the other pile that we have, that we showed on a on a different video, which we'll put the link in the description below. This compost pile's only been here for less than a week, whereas the other one's been going for about 6 months now. So this one hasn't really had time to do anything. But because of the enormous volunteer effort from our community, our grocery stores, donating all this produce, we got to have some place to put this stuff. As you can see, really hasn't had time to decompose. It's still going. We only put these vegetables in there in the past couple of days. But fortunately, we have a lot of time in front of us, because what's in this pile and what may be another pile built next to it in the future, if we get enough of this stuff coming in, all of this is going to go on this garden come this winter. That way it can all replenish the soil during the dormant season. So it's got plenty of time. So what we're looking for this autumn is when all the leaves start to fall off the tree and people start to bag all those leaves up to put on the curb. That's where we're going to get a lot of browns to put on everything. Just pile it on top, let the whole thing do its magic. So that's about as much as we're going to do to it today, because we don't have any more browns to go on this yet. We're just going to have to let it sit and kind of deteriorate into itself. Hopefully the cats won't come and start eating it. That wouldn't be good, because we want it to stay in there. But what we're about to do next is go ahead and do some harvesting and get everything on our produce stand, because we sure do got a lot. So see you in just a minute. All right, so go ahead and get everything harvested. It's been a couple of days, and as you can see, a couple of days is all it takes. One thing is as you can hear, we got our irrigation system going right now. And I can't tell you how much of a blessing that is, because that's one less thing that we have to do, and it helps us to do more of getting this stuff out to the community. So let's see what else we got. We got a lot of tomatoes coming along. It's going to be another week before they're ready. But in the meantime, hey, we are okay with all these squash and zucchini and cucumber. In Arkansas, we have a whole lot of different snakes. We got some types of rattlesnakes here, but in this area, mainly, the thing we worry about is copperheads and cottonmouths. And I don't expect that we'll see a lot of either in the garden, but just to be on the safe side, you never know. Always good to be careful before you reach ahead and stuff. Kind of move everything out of the way. Kind of take a look real quick before you go down in there. I know there's not a rattlesnake anywhere. I would hear him. Yeah, there we go. Good eating right there, good eating. Okay, so Come look at this one real quick. I think I'm going to give this one probably 1 to 2 more days and get it up to big eating size. Can't let them get too big though. They can get kind of hard. The smaller they are, the kind of more tender they are. Get to these in just a second. Let me check back here. Got a little one going there. Got a tomato plant back here. And look at that beautiful tomato coming in on it. Most of these tomato plants have tomatoes coming in. This one right here doesn't. The ones back here don't yet. But they'll get there. That's okay. I think these are just a little bit younger than the ones up front. We started them off, staggered them when we planted them. That way each one will be a little like maybe 2 weeks behind the other. We do them in groupings like that. That way we constantly have tomatoes coming in. But don't worry. Once the tomatoes come in, man, you can't pick them fast enough. Can't get rid of them fast enough. We're trying our hand at letting these things climb. You have to train them. They won't really do it much on their own. These little curls that are on the end right here, they'll cling on to the trellis. But if they don't have a trellis to cling on to, they'll cling on to the ground, making them quite difficult to weed around. But we like putting them on the trellis because it makes it easier to weed them. We can kind of see the fruit a little better. But you sure still have to hunt for them. You gotta look very good. Every little nook and cranny. Check on the other side just to be sure. Because they will hide on you. Little baby ones in there. No picking size yet. Not on those. I have gotten a few from there though. These are just tomatoes. Oh, here we go. What do we got here? That's a different kind of squash. You can see they look a little bit different than these. They got a little bit of a curl on the top. There's a little baby right there, not ready yet. I'm gonna give that one probably another day or two. We get these little white butterflies that are landing on all the plants. And as I understand it, they love cabbage. They'll put little cabbage worms in the plants, and they still land on all this other stuff. So I'm expecting at some point to start seeing some tomato worms and some other types of caterpillars eating stuff. You have to watch out for those. But I tell you, if you get a hold of a tomato worm, they're a great big old caterpillar. It's got spikes all over them. If you get one, don't throw it away. Take it fishing with you. You'll catch about 3 or 4 bass on the same worm. This one has a couple of them on there. They're not ready yet. Uh-oh, here we go. You'll go ahead and zoom in right here. There's a Leviathan ready to pick. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the wheelbarrow so I don't drop them. Right. Every once in a while you gotta offload it, or otherwise I'm gonna be using my hat for a basket. Some little ones on there. Nothing ready. Always nice to have a little water going while you're doing this out in the hot sun, because once in a while you just need a little splash of water on it. Come and look at this one. Take a look right here in the middle of all these yellow flowers. You got a little one. I mean, this one's edible. You can eat that one this size. I'm gonna give that one right there a day or two more. But this monster, this coming with us. Yeah, that's going on a stand. Let's see if we got any more like that. You typically don't get more than one of these at a time off of a plant. At least I have found, working in the garden out here. You might have like maybe a baby that's next to it, but you only get one big one at a time. Check on this side, because even these monster green ones, they'll hide from you. And there's another one, edible. We'll give that one a couple more days. Okay, that's all for those. See if we got any on there. There's a squash. It's just not ready though. We'll give that one another couple days. This is good. This is what I was talking about right here. If you look right here, we got a whole lot of tomatoes coming on. It'll be about another week, and these babies are going to be red. Be ready to pick. Then I just ain't going to know what to do. I'm going to have so many tomatoes. Let's see, did I already check this one? I think I already did. Yeah, I already checked that one. I tell you, as our facilities manager says, he's recording by the way, it's not a bad thing to have a problem like too many veggies. Got the small ones on there, nothing ready though. That one's the same. Here's a little plant. A squash going on that one. A couple more days there. Yeah, here we go. There we go, if you'll take a look right here. Now that's hanging. So, for anybody out there who might be a little skeptical about the plant being on the trellis and doing the vine thing, because you think maybe it won't hang like that, it's a lot of weight. That right there, that's about a 2-pounder hanging from the vine. That's not the same thing. This is a cucumber, zucchini. The difference is, cucumber got these little spikes all over it. Kind of hard to touch sometimes. They can feel like they're going to cut you. They won't though. Tomato plants that's on the trellises, they just kind of go everywhere. But everything's getting the water they need. I'm not going to be picking any of the jalapenos and bell peppers. I'm going to save that for Terry to come out. Yeah, he's a little bit more knowledgeable about when they're ripe. I haven't ever grown any of them things before. So we're all kind of learning as we go. Yeah, that the squash is ready to go. That's not bad. Uh-oh. But what is this? That will not do. It's either something that's been eaten on it or got cut into, but we're going to have to compost that one. So, let's see what else we got before we do that. I'm going to go ahead and just put this one in my pocket because it ain't no good yet. There. Here we go, here we go. Got a couple of good sized squash growing on here. One's just a little smaller than the other, but they're both good eating size. Again, these are a different type than your regular squash. They got the little curl on the top. But now there's a monster. There we go. Look at that bright yellow, beautiful squash. One more, it's almost ready. I'll give that one another day or two. And I'll say this one's ready to go. Okay, that is all of the vegetables to be harvested for today. You go ahead and come over here and see the bounty we got. That's not bad. I'm going to guess that's about 10 pounds. I'll measure it back when I get to the church. We'll put it on a little scale in a bowl, everything, and zero it out. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Pagan Gardener. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and click that little notification bell so you don't miss any new content coming out. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and share it all over social media. We're doing a lot out here at Southern Delta Church of Wicca, trying to help our community. And if you want to volunteer or make a donation, we'll have a link down below, all the information you'll need to do that through our PayPal. Until next time, blessed be.